Hello, everybody. It's the interview queen, Alicia Atout here, and I am super psyched to welcome you all to interview round 2 with Renee Young. Hello.
Hi. Thanks so much for having me. This is great. I feel
Thank you
like I'm
so
getting
much.
like a little piece of home, a little Toronto action up in here.
Totally. Thank you so much for hopping on. I have to kick things off by asking, how are you doing? Are you keeping sane over there? Kind of fill everybody in.
Yeah, so far so good. I feel like my days are pretty much the same every day. It's like wake up, John and I'll figure if we're like watching a show or like there's a movie we're watching, we've been going on like a deep dive of like weird 90s movies. So that's been a lot of fun, but then it's like work out at some point, take the dogs for a walk. I'm cooking a ton, so I've been doing a lot of stuff in the kitchen. And then I pour some wine and shut it down for the night. It's very repetitive, but it's all right. It's keeping me sane, keeping my mind busy.
No, that's absolutely awesome. I was going to bring up the cooking because it seems like you've been stirring up a lot of delicious looking stuff from
Damn
ribs to
right.
sandwiches. Yeah. So have you always had that inner chef within you, or is it kind of just coming out now because you have all the time?
No, I think I've always kind of had it. I can just now I just have a platform to like put my stuff out on. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I've always loved to cook. I've always loved food. I've always been like, a food obsessed foodie, if you will. So it's fun to come up with different recipes and like, given the circumstances that we're in now, it's like I really have to strategize when I'm going to the grocery store about like what am I going to cook? How long is it going to last? What's my route going to be through the grocery store? So it's obviously a lot more thought goes into everything right now. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun cooking. I made I wanted to make do you ever have shrimp shumai if you order Japanese? They're like little dumplings.
Yeah.
So I made that, but a soup. But I just made meatballs from it, and then I cut the wontons into noodles. So I'm
So
very
good.
yeah, it's really good.
What has been one of the best things you've made over the last couple of weeks? Would you say that's up there? Because those ribs you made a couple of weeks back looked so good. The
Well,
mania ribs.
yes, my boneyard match ribs. The ribs were good, but I did burn them a little bit when I was watching the Cesaro Gulak match, so I blame them for that. I made a lamb burger the other day that was really good. Just with like rosemary, I made homemade tzatziki with it. So I did that. And then I also made a whole chicken. I love to do a whole chicken, but then I put baby potatoes in the pan with it, and then I smashed them afterwards, and then crisped them up in the chicken fat. They were very good.
That sounds absolutely delicious.
Hell yeah!
And the fact that we're speaking about all this food right now, like I mentioned how I've been with my family during this whole quarantine, and it's Easter today, so they're
Yes, happy
literally like,
Easter.
happy Easter. They're cooking a turkey downstairs and mashed potatoes. I'm like, oh, I'm just so excited
It's a
to eat.
dream. I actually went out, so as I'm like working on cooking different things, my mom just recently sent me I don't know how she had all this and just never told me, but she has cookbooks from my grandmother and my great grandmother. So she was sending me some of those, and there was an interesting recipe to make Hawaiian rice. So it has like the pineapple, the ham, and whatnot. So I actually bought a ham the other day, so I might scrap that rice idea for now and just make like an Easter ham today. We'll see.
That sounds delicious. Well,
It could happen.
I look forward to seeing the photo because I know you're going to post it
Of
regardless of
course.
what you make.
Of course. I have to. Gotta push
Now
my
we
content. You know how that goes.
Oh, totally. And we had briefly mentioned and touched upon Wrestlemania there. And this year was a little bit different for you as you called in from home. You're all dressed up, looking so glam.
From right
Um,
here.
right? But what was that like for you having almost a complete 180? It wasn't, it was still live in the sense, but you weren't necessarily there, and just kind of fill me in on the whole experience from home.
I I think my biggest takeaway from it was just being able to enjoy WrestleMania as a fan. I've not been able to do that for, 7, 8 years where it's, when you're working WrestleMania, of course, that's such an insane experience. And I've loved every WrestleMania that I've gotten to be a part of. But it was really cool to just like get to be at home, have some snacks, have some cocktails, and just watch it and sort of sit back. And, you obviously have friendships with everybody that's involved in these matches. So it makes you really proud to see what everybody was able to pull off. Sort of wondering how it was going to come across with not having fans there. I mean, we're so used to the grandiose nature of WrestleMania. So it was cool to just sit and watch and see how things changed and how it felt. And I actually thought that the 2 days of it was really cool. It was nice to just like sit at home, have the first night, and be like, all right, how's the second night going to top the first night? How's that going to
Right.
go? So it was just fun to watch it as a fan. It was. I think that was like my biggest takeaway was just getting to be a fan again.
I feel like that was everyone's takeaway as far as people who are actually involved on site. Like I spoke with a bunch of wrestlers afterwards, and they were even actually being able to watch the matches from home with my loved one.
I know, isn't that
It's so
crazy?
different. Yeah.
So wild. Yeah, I talked to Drew McIntyre on Backstage, and he said the same thing. He got to watch it with his wife and his cat, and like to just put in all that work. And I can imagine for them too, it's like you put in that work, and to not have that instant gratification of like a crowd reaction or being able to see social media's reaction, to just kind of be sitting and waiting and like see what the response is going to be and whatever. It's really cool.
No, it's absolutely awesome. And you had mentioned Backstage there, which was not actually a thing the last time I saw you last summer. And it's massive having a show that you host on Fox, and the fact that it's also with WWE. It's such a huge thing. So it seems like you're having a blast. You're with people you love being with. So tell me about when the idea was pitched your way and you realized, oh my gosh, this is like a huge thing, and it seems like you're just loving it.
So I knew a while ago, once Fox and WWE were figuring out their deal, we knew that SmackDown was going to be going to Fox, and then waiting to see what the deal was. I knew that they wanted to do a studio show, and I was like, please, 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 please let me be the one to host it. I'm dying to get back into that role. It's definitely like, it's where I thrive. I love being able to host that show. I literally just get to sit and talk about wrestling with my friends. So it's such a good situation. But it was at Royal Rumble last year when we were in Phoenix that I got together with some of the executive producers at Fox, and they were like, all right, you're gonna be our girl. And I was like, and we got to like cheers over some margaritas and let the celebration begin, and then kind of figure out what we wanted the show to be, who would be great on the panel, what some of the segments could be, what's the format going to be. We just had so much fun over the course of that summer, going out to LA and doing all the screen tests. We brought in a bunch of different people and just kind of seeing what the tone was going to be. And just to build a show like that from the ground up has been a blast. And working with everybody at Fox has been insane. I love it. They're so cool.
That's amazing to hear. And for me, it's kind of cool to see as well, as you're someone I've always watched as an interviewer. So, I mean, it's almost like watching Unfiltered, but even...
Yeah.
Because you're literally shooting the breeze with your friends, you're having them on, and that's all it feels like. It's just like you're having a conversation with a buddy of yours. So was that kind of cool for you? You're welcome. Was that kind of cool for you as well? Just realizing, oh my gosh, like I had this baby, one of the first shows that was, solely mine, and now I'm, it's just on a much bigger scale.
I almost go back to even when I was at the Score and doing Aftermath. I feel like This is Aftermath just like jacked up. I mean, Aftermath is a great show, obviously. I love Aftermath. It was some of the best times of my career being able to work at the Score and at working on Aftermath. But yeah, being able to go from what that brainchild was of that show that we did back in, gosh, would have been like 2009 or something. It was a long time ago. Wow, I've really just dated myself. But we started doing that show so long ago. So to go from like that initial conception of what we did to then moving on to doing this show with Fox and doing Backstage, it's really crazy to just see the way things have grown and developed. But at the end of the day, it's still like that same core idea works of, let's talk about wrestling, and we all love it and we're all fans, and we can, shoot the breeze with our friends about it.
That makes me so happy. And I think the coolest thing is you're known for such fun and laid back interviews. So it's, just being showcased in that sense has been really cool to see that journey.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And just speaking to those interviews, I was curious if you could have anybody on Backstage, or even if we were to do a little throwback, unfiltered little segment, who would you love to have on? Whether a wrestler, musician, celebrity?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think who I would love to still have on Backstage. So we did our New Year's episode and we made our New Year's resolutions, and mine was to get AJ Styles and Randy Orton on the show. We've had AJ on, we've not had Randy. I would love to have Randy on. We're actually going to have Edge on this week. So I'm really, so keep in mind that when I made this, my dream situation back at New Year's, I did not know that Edge was an option. So now that we have Edge as an option and we get to have him on this week, I'm super excited to get to pick his brain, especially after watching his 24 documentary on the network, on WWE Network, and seeing his whole journey. And Beth Phoenix is a good friend of mine, so knowing some of his journey and then getting to see exactly where he is right now, it's so cool. So I'm really excited to have Edge on.
That's amazing. I'm excited to see it. He was one of my favorites growing up, so it's another thing where he really seems it.
I mean, being from Toronto, we have to love Edge. We have to. Come on, Edgeheads through and through.
We're talking about our Canadian pride. It's like anything that kind of resonates Canada, you're like, yeah.
We're behind it. We love it. But somebody that's not like a WWE superstar that I would like to have on. I'm like trying to rack my brain. I mean, I've always wanted to have O'Shea Jackson Jr. on, Ice Cube's son. I'm a big fan of his work as an actor, and I know that he's such a massive fan. So I think he'd be somebody cool to have on, especially when we do like promo school. And I would like to hear what his promo would be.
Ooh, now I'm trying to envision that. You know, he'd knock it out of the park regardless. So
as long as he's not going against Booker T, because Booker goes for the jugular during promo school. He does not hold back. So you got to bring your A game.
I've noticed. He gets intense.
He's nasty, man. He does it. It's the best. I always end up that segment with like tears running down my face. I'm like, oh my God. Always outdoes himself.
Well, I have a super important question for you that we need the scoop on. Are you any closer to starring in your first Hallmark movie yet?
Listen, come on. It just came out on, I think, the 12th. What's the date today? Oh, today's the 12th, so the 10th. Main Event just came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
So I had such a tiny little part in that movie, and I love that experience so much. But if I can just take that little clip and use it as a little bit of my demo reel, throw it on over to Hallmark, it drives me insane. But here's the real thing. It's like Hallmark, I tweet them nonstop. Tweet them. I'm watching Hallmark movies. I want to be in a Hallmark Christmas movie. They don't even like my tweets. Not only do they not respond, they don't even like them. So I don't know that I'm getting any closer to doing a Hallmark movie, but maybe I'm closer to doing like a Netflix Christmas movie. Maybe that's where I kind of steer my direction. Or maybe I go Lifetime and make it a little bit twisted. I don't know. I'm still interested, though. I would love to do another movie. Yeah, like that small experience that I got to have, or my small role that I got to have on Main Event was such a good time. I'm like, ooh, I got like bit by that acting bug again. I really want to get back at it. It's fun.
Was it difficult for you getting into a role? Because when we see you on TV, it's not like with a lot of wrestling where you're actually putting on a persona or a gimmick. It really is, for the most part, just you. So when you actually have to get into a different role and a different persona, did it kind of just catch on super quickly?
Yeah, I mean, my background before I got into hosting and stuff was acting. So, I mean, I studied acting for a number of years before I got into hosting. So it was actually almost like just putting on an old hat and being like, oh, right, cool. Just sort of like switch gears and find different ways to deliver your lines. And like, you know, even with doing like Main Event, it's like when I'm doing WWE and doing commentary with WWE, I often don't get to be funny. That wasn't really my role. So it was fun to have the roles between me and Graves reversed on that, where I was being a little bit more of like the color and he was having to like tone me down of like, relax, lady. So it was fun getting to switch those roles with him. But yeah, I don't really feel like it took me too long to readjust to it. I think as soon as you like get back on like that, get on like a set and you have your lines and you just try to think of different ways to deliver them, it's fun.
That's super cool. And one thing that I thought was super funny is you mentioned how, you know, you've been trying to just lift up the spirits at home. So is it true you've actually been decorating with Christmas decorations already in April?
So I'm not, but I thought about it. I did think about it because like, man, everything's better when there's Christmas decorations up. I did really think about it and I was like, my husband might kill me. So I probably shouldn't. I push his buttons during the holidays anyways because I go above and beyond for every holiday. So he'd probably be like, all right, got to draw the line here somewhere. But I did think about it. They're all just in boxes in the garage, not too far away.
Right there.
I could easily flip that switch. But I decided last night that I think during the evenings now, because again, like I said, our days are being pretty repetitive, I might start throwing like themed evenings in the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe like get like different playlists. We have like different like genres of music, and we will put on some nice outfits, pull it together. Maybe make different kind of cocktails depending on what the theme is. Different snacks depending on the theme. So I don't know. I'm grasping for straws at this point.
I feel like you've kind of heavily thought that out.
Doesn't take me long to get like a little sprout of an idea to like, okay, now it's like this big thing, and now I've got to pull it off.
It seems like you're almost there.
Just got to.
I don't know why.
Now. Just
truly, I don't know why, but I can literally envision you guys just going to sleep and you're up all night just putting up a Christmas tree and literally decorating the house. And then John just comes down in the morning and you're like, hey.
Oh my God, that would actually be so funny. I wonder if I could pull that off and do it while he was sleeping, and then he came downstairs and be like, "What the hell?" That would be he's a pretty heavy sleeper. I think I could pull that off. Something to think about.
Just throwing it out there.
Not a bad idea.
Well, you mentioned music, and we dove into your record collection last summer. So has it grown a decent amount since then? Are you still spinning a lot of the same tunes?
Yeah, I mean, I always try to like branch out. I mean, I have a lot of like random records. Like some of my favorite things about having a record player and going record shopping is finding the dollar bins and finding like the random records that are in there. Like that's usually one of my favorites. I mean, I have like all of my classics of like, these are my mains that must be in anybody's record collection. And then you branch out, but having like some of like the dollar bin ones. And then my father-in-law for Christmas, he sent me a stack of records, and each one with like a little note. He sent me like a lot of like Anne Murray, or like, obviously I love Neil Young. But he sent me a bunch of different like fun random records with little post-it notes on each one about why I should like it. It was like the sweetest thing of all time. Yeah, it's very, very cute. So I've got a stack of those. Yeah.
That's so adorable. I was curious, you know, in wrestling, so much of it is traveling from place to place, just like it, in a sense, ride along, you know, there's so much traveling. So if you could do that, but rather than being in the car with wrestlers, replace it with, let's say, like 3 musicians, who do you think would be just like the coolest ride?
Okay, so Jenny Lewis for sure, because I'm obsessed with Jenny Lewis and I have been for a very long time. I would say Jenny Lewis. God, I'm like, I would probably say Casey Musgraves, because I think she's probably a really good time to hang out with.
Okay.
And Liam Gallagher, just to keep it a little punchy.
Shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I would do Liam Gallagher, Jenny Lewis, and Casey Musgraves.
That is such an interesting period. That's the final answer.
But wait. I mean, I went living, obviously. But if I wanted to go like legit, it'd have to be like Prince, Bowie, and like, I mean, Jack White's living, but I would love to hang out with Jack White too. Jack White's cool as all hell.
I could see the 3 of them actually being like such a riveting conversation.
Could you imagine that conversation of those 3 dudes?
That would blow up my mind.
Huh. I mean, you could make so many different combos. It's hard. Like those lists, I'm actually like sweating a little bit thinking about that, because I'm like, oh my God, you got to get the list right. I take lists very seriously, but I just, you throw out names and you're like, wait, I need to like reevaluate this. Is that who I want? Like, I would like to hang out with Dolly Parton. I would love Dolly Parton. So let me switch up my first trip, and it would be Jenny Lewis, Dolly Parton, and Liam Gallagher.
Okay.
Sorry, Casey, but I would switch out.
Musgraves out.
Sorry, girl.
See you at the side of the road, Casey.
Sorry, sis.
No, those would be such interesting conversations. It just kind of gets your mind going, because you interview and you speak with so many people. That's what our jobs are based around. And you think, oh, if I could have that dream conversation, like, would it go as planned? What would you ask? Like, your brain just kind of takes over.
And just like those interesting personalities, like that's always a thing that I've been drawn to as far as like interviewing and like hanging out with people, is like just other people's personalities and what people are into, and not even necessarily me interviewing them, but just like hanging out and like seeing them in like their natural element to see like how they behave and what they do. That stuff kind of fascinates me.
No, I'm the same. Like, I people watch all the time, regardless of where I'm at. So when it comes to
nosy.
It's brutal. Like, I'll see something. Like, I'll be sitting on a bench and I see someone. I try to figure out their story and I'll like give them a background.
Love that. Hell yeah, I love that.
Yeah, but no, some great conversations. Definitely. Well, I really do just want to say thank you so much for coming on here, for taking the time. I know people are going to freak out when they watch this. So yeah, just thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
Course. Yeah, thanks so much for having me on. Happy Easter, and good luck continuing all these interviews during this time.
Thank you, everybody. This has been Renee Young. I'm the interview queen, Alicia Atout. Be sure to check out aliciaatout.com for all exclusive interviews and features, and we'll see you next time. Bye.